The first philanthropic event that left a lasting impression, I don't know about philanthropic, but my mom's idea of the way you change the world was to get involved in local politics. So she was always running a campaign or a caucus or a convention, and I would follow behind her with the pamphlets and the leaflets and the stuff she needed. There was always a room to knock down or set up. There were always things to stuff, and there were great conversations to listen to and overhear, and a lot to learn about how you organized and how you stayed involved. And that was really, I think, what gave me the bug. I'm not sure there was an incident in my life that inspired me to community service. There was just this gathering sense of the great good fortune that had been visited upon my family. 3 healthy children, a wonderful family, the ability to do what, the ability and means to do what we want to do, and the understanding that not everybody else is placed in that situation. And it feels like when you have been that fortunate, there's a need to give back. The person who had the most significant impact in my life is a woman named Diana Brainerd. And honestly, I had to do a little research to find out her first name, because to me, she was just Mrs. Brainerd. I was in grade school. She was the mother of my friend Diana, and she was my campfire girl leader. Campfire girls were like Girl Scouts, only we had, instead of sashes and badges, we had little felt vests with beads. And a group of neighborhood girls would meet in Mrs. Brainerd's basement every Wednesday for as long as I could remember. We did arts and crafts and sang songs and did all sorts of activities together. We went to different schools, but we were neighbors and we were friends. I went to my parish school a few blocks away, and the plan was that I was supposed to go from there to a girls' Catholic school called Our Lady of Peace, and then on to probably St. Catherine's College, or if we were really getting edgy, the University of Minnesota. The problem was that in the 6th grade, I was being routinely bullied, and if the nuns weren't watching carefully, sometimes roughed up for being smart. I was smart, but I wasn't savvy enough to cover it up. And my parents knew it was happening and couldn't figure out what to do, because the public system would have fed me into a high school that was in a neighborhood that was simply not safe. So they were casting about for solutions when one day they got a letter in the mail. It was from the admissions director at the Summit School, which was a local school for girls, private school, that said, we're about to merge with St. Paul Academy, which was a boys' school, but it's bigger than we are, and we need to add girls, and we understand you have a daughter. Would you like to bring her in to take a test? And so a few weeks later, they brought me to this gymnasium. A lot of thought was given to what I would wear. I'm not really sure why, and I'm certainly not sure what message we were trying to convey with the red and white culotte outfit, but I remember it vividly. This was probably in 1967. And I sat down and took a standardized test. I was terrified. About 45 minutes into it, I calmed down enough to look up and look around the room. And I saw 4 or 5 of my friends from Mrs. Brainerd's basement and realized how I'd gotten there. The result of all of this was I got to go to middle school and high school with my friends in an environment in which it was okay to be simultaneously smart and female. I went to Brown, where I met my husband, and on to law school. And none of that was part of the plan originally. So, Mrs. Brainerd writing down some names and addresses and handing them to that admissions officer changed my life. What inspired me to a life of community service and volunteerism? How could I have not paid that back? Having good health to me means being able to do what I want to do and be with my family, to be present in my life, and to be able to enjoy enjoy it to its fullest. And I know that makes me incredibly privileged because so many people don't have it. But you know, organizations like Volunteers in Medicine make it possible for as many people as can possibly have their health to be healthy and to thrive. And I think it's incredibly important. The first year I joined WGA and joined the decision team, the grants team, I got an opportunity to learn about a bunch of different agencies in Northeast Florida, and I was so impressed with the model of Volunteers in Medicine, how they leverage a small but hearty staff and use that to access so many volunteer professionals, including incredibly high-end specialists. And the number of people that they serve, the working poor who they keep working because they're healthy. It's a wonderful model, and I was so impressed.